Shalom. Shalom. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who does lead and rule well. I want to say salutations and shalom also to you, hopefully like Akim, pushing out this word in truth and in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And sincere shalom also to you, Akim and Akwaf, that's listening and learning, preparing yourselves here in these last days. That's unto the entire household of faith that's fighting this good fight of faith. Unto you all again, I want to say shalom. This is your brother Daquar from the DC camp. Come back at you with another lesson. I'm entitled this one, The Great Deliverance. All right? Because, you know, the scriptures say, come out of her, my people. You know, that you be not partakers of her sins. And some people interpret that as to mean to leave America. You know, which that just shows a misunderstanding of the scriptures, because the great deliverance, all right, that's going to take place is going to take place in America. All right, let me see. 2 parts. Bear with me 1 second. This is Zechariah 13, and I'm going to start at verse 8. It says, And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. All right. It says, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh is my power. Now that land that it was talking about, and as you can see on this from this picture, is America. It's talking about that particular land. You know, you got Israelites scattered all over the globe, you know. But the major deliverance is going to take place in America, man. That's where the climax in this of the movie is about to go down. You know, so when it's talking about the land in this scripture, it's not talking about the whole earth. The 1/3 and the 2/3 is talking about the land of America, and you're gonna have the elect getting beamed up from all over. But again, like I said, the great deliverance is going to take place here. It said that the 2 parts going to cut off and die. 2/3 of you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and whoever else, you know, is from that seed line, is going to die. You know, many of you are going to take that MOTB. You know, some people going to die by the sword. Some, you know, well, this is the ultimate sword. But you got the famines. You got you know, when there's complete chaos and people going into their neighbors' houses and them fighting against each other. That's a part of it. You know, you got the pestilences. So it's going to be a lot of judgment taking place, man. Now, 2/3, 1/3 is going to be preserved through all of it. All right, and it's going to be delivered. And that's what the scriptures is talking about. And so that's what this lesson is, man. You know, now when you think of the first deliverance, when the Israelites got taken out of Egypt, there was supernatural things that took place, man. You know, everybody think of the Exodus, you know, where the Lord brought us out by a mighty hand. He had the 10 plagues. You know, the splitting of the Red Sea, and Pharaoh's him and his pretty much his whole kingdom was destroyed. You know, now what? Roughly around 3,000 years, maybe later, there's going to be a greater deliverance, man. You know, and that's what the prophets talked about. That's what Yahweh Shai was talking about. You know, it's going to be so great that this one is going to be pretty much an afterthought, man. It's just going to be, this deliverance is going to just be so much more greater that's going to be what's talked about, man. You know? So let me get that. That's Jeremiah 23 and verse 7. It says, therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that they shall no more say, Yahweh liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But Yahweh liveth, which brought up and which led the seed, the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. All right. So that north country, again, is talking about America. This is the epicenter. You see? It says, and like I said earlier, the elect, all right? I'm talking about the 144,000. So there's going to be deliverance from the other countries as well. But like, it's like the major deliverance is going to come from America, man. That's why I said, it highlighted, it said the house of Israel out of the north country and from all the countries where I've driven them. You know, and this image, you know, I tried to, you know, make it show. You got Israelites being beamed up. And by the way, the Israelites can look like other nations, man. You know, because we do look like other nations. But you just got to think about that, man. You know, think about that prophecy right there, man. The Exodus, it's like the defining miracle in the Old Testament, man. We got the Passover, you know, that we remember that by, you know. Every generation was supposed to remember that, you know. But Jeremiah is saying that it's going to be another one that's going to overshadow it, man. You know. So this is going to be incredible. And this is why people don't believe it, man. You know. But this is the redemption that we talking about. All right. Another one that supports the Babylon, Micah, aka America 4 and I'm gonna read the first verse, but then I'm gonna read verse 10. It says, final admonition, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. And that's why you see the nuclear missiles, and you see even the laser beams from the chariots. That's what's going to create this lake of fire. You know, it says, and all the proud, all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. And remember, in the original Exodus, all right, all Israel was saved as long as they had, put that blood over their doorposts. You know, if they followed the instructions, you know, all Israel came out. But in this one, 2/3 is going to die because they not listening. They not putting the spiritual blood over their doorposts, man. You know, so they're going to die the deaths of these other nations that's in this land, man. You see? Anybody that take that MOTB is going to have their part in the lake of fire, man. Anyway, let me jump down. Is it? Oh, I was in Malachi. Well, that went too. Well, Micah 4. And it's talking about the last days and the kingdom being established. But let me jump down. I'm going to jump down to verse 10. It says, Micah 4:10, it says, be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There Yahweh shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. Okay? So this is the place where we're going to get delivered, man. So it's no confusion. You just got to have faith that the Lord's going to do what he said he's going to do, man. And you got to be able to understand the vision, because you're going to see this place collapsing, man. This place is on its way out. You can't eat the goddamn thing. You can't drink shit. You know? Now ginger ale is messed up. It's being recalled, man. Eggs being recalled. Fucking lettuce. Now they saying cilantro and parsley, man. You know? This place is polluted. And it's likening to those 10 plagues, man. This place is just being broken down on all levels, man. But even through the midst of that, the elect is going to be preserved, okay, and then delivered. You see? So we had the captivity. We've been afflicted here in Babylon, but then the redemption is going to come, man. So this place that we've been oppressed at is going to also be the place where the Lord is going to give us the greatest salvation. You know, he said he going to give us fame and praise in the land where we was put to shame. And that's what's going to happen. You see some of these people looking up while other people getting beamed up. That's what's going to happen. As a matter of fact, what's that? Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. Let me see something. That's crazy. This is Wisdom of Solomon 5. In verse 1, it says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as has afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. Because it's a miracle. It's supernatural. People don't believe that this is going to happen. You know? So it's so far beyond that they look for. But this is what we believe. And we know it's going to happen. It says, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometime in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools, they counted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot is amongst the saints. All right, even amongst the Israelites, man, they mock us, you know. But it's cool, because it's supposed to happen that way. You see? But that's the strangeness of our salvation, man. Beautiful. And that's how the Lord, he always did it, man. The Lord always had a pattern of deliverance for us, man. You know? Even with Noah, before the flood, he the first death, he created an ark. He had Noah preaching and made an ark. You know? He had Abraham, praying for Lot before he burnt that place up. You know? He made a way to escape. So, that's the pattern. Now, again, let me keep on that point that it's for Israel. This is Joel 3. No, Joel 2 and verse, it says the day of the Lord. In verse 30 it says, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of Yahweh come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Yahweh shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance. And as Yahweh have said, and in the remnant whom Yahweh shall call. So that's the remnant, you know. So this is a part of the Lord fulfilling his covenant with us, man. You know, deliverance belongs to Zion. Salvation is of the Jews. All right. This is Isaiah 11 in verse 11. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from all the islands of the sea. All right, so this just letting you know that he's going to get us from the other, everywhere, you know. That's the beauty of it, man. And you know, so even the brothers that's pushing, just because, like I said, that this is the main place of deliverance, that doesn't negate or exclude, you know, them and their labors. All right. This is Daniel 12. Daniel 12:1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. All right. So Lord's willing, we are written in that book, man. But it's going to be so bad that the Archangel Michael is going to have to stand up for us, man. Yahweh Shai going to even come in the fathership, you know. It says when he come with all his glory. Matter of fact, I'll just get it. Matthew 24. Matthew 24 and verse 29. It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. All right, yeah, because the missiles is gonna be dropping, you know, and they're gonna see these chariots. They're gonna be thinking it's the end of the whole fucking world, man. You know, except for us, we gonna know what's going on, man. You know. It said because it said the Son of Man coming in clouds of heaven with power and great glory, which represents these chariots. Verse 31 says, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven into the other. All right, so this is what the deliverance is, man. Out of these chariots, you know. And the Lord gonna send that. The angels is gonna be doing that, and they gonna also be beaming, blasting shit. What's in Edris? All right, but it says that this is how it's gonna take place. You know, First Thessalonians 4 and 16. It says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. All right. This is so you know, have faith that these things is going to happen, man. That's why it says, wherefore comfort one another with these words, because this gospel gives us the comfort. It gives us the faith when we hear it, and then we start you know, reading the stories about how the Lord dealt with his people. You know, we can find comfort in that, even when, that's why it says walk by faith and not by sight, because it's going to look crazy. Like, you know, we're going to have to be saved by what they say, the skin of my teeth or something, you know. But yeah, man, that's what these chariots is for. It says Psalm 68 The chariots are the vehicles of salvation. Psalm 68 and 17, it says, the chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. So, yeah. All them UFOs or UAPs, y'all call them, you know, that's the chariots, man. That's the same thing. Elijah was taken into heaven by a fiery chariot, you know. Ezekiel had the vision of these type of vehicles, man. You know. But just to show you that when it's talking about these clouds, a lot of times it's talking about chariots. This is Psalms 104. In verse 3, it says, who live? Yeah. I'm going to start at the top. It says, bless Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, O my soul. O Yahweh, my power, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who covers thyself with light as with a garment, who stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot. You see that? Who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh his angel spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. Yeah, that's the point that I wanted, though. Who laid the foundation of the earth, that it should not be removed forever. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to get that point. He maketh the clouds his chariots, man. And it says, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right. In the same way that Yahweh Shah left is the same way he was going to return, as the scripture said, man. And they used the cloud. So again, when this saying flee out of the midst of Babylon, it's not necessarily saying to leave Babylon, man. You know? Or come out of her. It's not necessarily, that's not necessarily what it's saying, man. All right? Because these chariots is going to protect us. Let me get my one of the other scriptures I like. Isaiah 26. And verse 20. It says, come, my people, enter thou into the chambers, into thy chambers, and shut the doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. So until this is over with, you know, we're going to be getting hid in those chariots, man. You know? And that's when the people going to know that we was the Lord's chosen, man. You know? And when the Lord is judging these other nations, man. So as the scriptures say, man, when these things start to come to pass, man, look up, because our redemption draweth nigh, man. All right? Now we got to keep ourselves. Let me see. We'll probably get one more. What's that second address? Yeah, no, it's yeah, no, that's good. I'm gonna leave it at that. You know, but yeah, that's the point, man. Just the major thing is, like I was saying, that there is going to be another deliverance. You know, even greater than the one of Exodus. You know, and the main, or the epicenter of it will be here in America. You know, but the beauty is we're going to be gathered through the four corners of the earth. You know? So, Lord's willing. You know, and this is for the ones that remain faithful, man. So, Lord's willing, that was edifying. To the next lesson, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachah Kodash. I want to say Shalom.